Alright, good afternoon everyone. How's it going? Let's put it this way. Today we got a pickup video from going to a store called Next Level Videogames down in Blackwood, New Jersey. Yes, I went back there and let's just say I got two bags here. One, I'm going to tell you right now, is Strategy Guides and Video Game magazines, and one is other stuff. So let's say we get going here. Let's start with this bag. Okay, the first item that we're going to show you is... Okay, how many of you remember being able, or remember the days when you could only play two-player games, one or two players on your system? Well, back in the day on the Nintendo system, there was a device, there were a couple devices, that allowed for four-player games. Well, one was called the NES the NES Satellite, and one of the other ones is the one I have here, called a 4-score. And in case anybody's wondering, yes, it actually did cost me $4. Believe it or not, you actually need something like this if you're going to play the NES version of Smash TV, because one controller was used for movement and the other was used for firing with the D-pad, like in the old arcade days. For the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo versions, they found a way to relegate the buttons to, or the firing to the face buttons on the controller. So not quite as faithful to the arcade. We also got, the original NHL Hockey for the Sega Genesis. This was the game that has the Minnesota North Stars, and they also have, if I remember correctly, the Quebec Nordiques, which is actually one of the real reasons I bought this thing, because I missed the days when we actually have a team in Quebec City, but what do you want to do, right? The other cool thing about this game, this was actually ahead of anything anybody did at the time, was back in the day, when you did playoff games, you could actually watch highlights from other games. Something I really, really, really enjoyed, and this is one of the games that I had to definitely grab. For the PlayStation 2, and from the same people who would later create Heavy Rain, Indigo Prophecy, or as you know it in Europe or Japan, Fahrenheit. Psychological, spiritual thriller. Gotta love it. I had this game at one point, and it was for the Xbox, so I could never find it for the PlayStation 2. And I remember enjoying the hell out of it. The control scheme was a bit different because one joystick was used for walking and the other joystick was used for performing different actions. You also used the trigger buttons on the shoulder. So definitely I'll be playing the hell out of this at some point. And if I can ever complete it, or finish it at least, you may get a review out of it. It's no surprise, it's no secret that I am a I am a man when it comes to nostalgia, and one game in particular I loved was the Wearing Blank is Carmen Sandiego games. Well, here's a Carmen Sandiego game, and it is called Carmen Sandiego Secret of the Stolen Drums. And in case anybody's wondering, I've only seen this game on Amazon, but I've never actually seen any actual gameplay of it. So it'll be really interesting to actually go and play through this game and see if it's really any good. But then again, looking at the price tag, might not have been, because I got it for $3. So we'll see though. I always like to, you know, I always like to go into most games with an open mind, so we'll definitely have to see about this one. Because I'm a glutton for punishment, this is Mel Gear Solid 4 and 5, and in case anybody's wondering, it does come with both discs. There's 4. There's 5. The reason I make a big deal about that is because I actually tried to get this game one time before at a store called Game Trader in the Deptford Mall, but he couldn't sell it to me because one of the discs was missing when the guy traded it in. So sadly, I wasn't able to get it then, but now I got it. And if I remember correctly, Metal Slug is a very, very, very hard game, but it's an SNK game. What do you expect? While I'm thinking of it, when I was at Next Level, I did see an SNK boxed NES game. It was like $15 called Alpha Mission. I didn't pick that one up, but I did think about it. I went back and forth on getting that one a couple of times. Let's see here. This one I played in the old days when I really played my Genesis a lot. Sports Talk Football in 1993, Joe Montana and all 28 NFL teams. God, you know this game is old. There's 32 teams now. The one thing I remember about this game is, in all the Joe Montana games, the passing sucked. You could run all day on the game, but you just couldn't pass for squat. Unless you played like coach mode, then you could do whatever you wanted. This is an interesting little game. It is called Relief Pitcher. Yes, it's a box game, and it comes to us from a company called Left Field Entertainment. Here's the interesting quirk about this game. The pitching, the hitting, and the fielding are done on the same perspective. What do I mean? This. If you look at it, where am I? Over here. Come on, hold straight, stupid. There we go. If you look over here, what you see is the camera's never moving. It's consistently on one plane. So when you're trying to actually move around, trying to catch the ball, you're like, I got it, I don't have it. For whatever reason, ESPN thought that was a brilliant idea, and when they came out the Sunday Night Baseball game when Sonny Himmelstock made that game, they used the same perspective in the game. I kid you not. Why they thought that was a good idea is beyond me. For the Sony PlayStation, Blaster Master, blasting again. I don't think I have to explain it to you, but I will. Blaster Master was probably one of the hardest games I ever played in my childhood. I've never actually played the PlayStation version, but I definitely want to give this one a shot and see if I can do something that I never actually did on the NES game. Beat the damn thing. So we'll see about that one. Alright. This one I'm really coming into blind on. It is called Jake Hunter Detective Story Memories of the Past. It is from the same people, by the way, that brought us 999 Axis. I don't know a damn thing about it. Not a thing. I wish I could tell you I knew something about it. But it was one of those games where I walked into the store and I saw it, I went, what the hell? Incidentally, they had a TurboGrafx, well, they had a They had a system on display for Atari 16, the American system, but it wasn't in stock. Or I probably would have bought that today. But they did have this, so pick this up. I'll definitely be going through this game probably more than once and seeing if it's really any good. And there will be a review on this game, definitely. Now here's some OGs for the Sega Dreamcast. NFL 2K and 2K1. I'm going to say right now, I love the NFL 2K series. I especially loved it on the Dreamcast. This was a game me and a friend of mine did. We played an entire season. We played as, I think it was the Rams. But the funny thing is, you know how extra points are supposed to be a given? I actually missed one on this game. This one I never played, but I'm looking forward to playing it in the near future. I think I got two more here. From the good folks at Sunsoft, Arrow the Acrobat. When the whole mascot craze was going on, this was supposed to be Sunsoft's answer. Of course, we all know how that panned out, right? Didn't really pan out that good. But this was a game I definitely wanted to get. And this was a loose copy. It was, in case you're interested, $4. And lastly, this was probably the game I was looking forward to the most in getting, because I had seen the Happy Video Game Nerds review of it, and he called it an American Beginner's RPG, which in some cases insulted our intelligence. The game, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, and yes, you're reading the price tag, it was only $15. Nothing can really be said about this game, except this game was specifically made for us dumb Americans, as it's been put. I'm definitely interested to see just how pathetically easy it is. They say it's only 10 hours. I find that hard to believe, but we'll find out. And now for this bag. Alright. First on the agenda, and yes, I was dying to get this. By the way, ignore the price that was scribbled out on here when I show it to you. The strategy guide for Final Fantasy Origins, which has covers Final Fantasy 1 and 2, obviously. The price tag was actually $10, despite the fact that it's not on here. By the way, for those of you who lived in Canada, yikes! I'm looking at like the list price on this thing. Look at that, $22 Canadian. Jeez. Okay. Anyway, this the interesting thing that I'm noticing on here is each game was covered by a different person. Casey Lowe, LOE's, covered Final Fantasy, and Laura M. Parkinson covered Final Fantasy 2. I'll definitely be using this because one thing I really want to do is beat a Final Fantasy game. Well, this will be my attempt to actually beat 2 Final Fantasies now. Since I'm on the Square Enix kick, This is the guide to Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime. You're probably wondering why I bought this. Because I want to know where every slime is. Because I think in level 2, I want to say, I had gotten every slime but one, and I couldn't figure out where it was. I thought I had gotten everything, but because there was no map, I couldn't really use one. So, I got this. By the way, I will tell you the 3 strategy guides I bought. This one was the cheapest. This is a monster of a strategy guide for what? Star Ocean, till the end of time. Yes! Now, I checked, and I don't think I have this guide. I know I have the one for Last Hope International. But I wanted to get this one because I know I'm going to be playing that game again soon, and I want to figure out how to do the different endings. So, got this. Plus, I don't want to rely on game facts. So, this will definitely be a pretty cool thing. This is definitely a pretty cool thing to have in my collection. Now, you think that must be all, right? Nah. Got some more stuff. We got not one, but 2 issues of Nintendo Power. This one, the big feature game, was Robin Hood, the Prince of Thieves. Yes, that game. This was also the issue, if I remember correctly, had Rocking Cats on it. I should know because I was just looking at it not that long ago on the way home. And this one has Felix the Cat. And check it out. One of the games they were covering in the issue, whoops, was Soul Blade. Yeah, see if I can do it this way. Was Soul Blade, the like 3rd game in the ActRaiser franchise. Has all the maps and everything too, which is really cool. It's also interesting when you think about this. Around the time that I think it's this this magazine came out, the Super Nintendo hadn't come out yet. Okay, so what ended up happening was they were doing a bunch of they were doing a bunch of Nintendo games, but they were prepping people for the Super NES. And in this one, if I remember correctly, they were just starting the NES games, or the Super NES games. But yeah, I am a fan of the old Nintendo Power magazines. I mean, old, like about as old as me, alright? Well, a little bit, get a little bit younger. Anyway, so those would be all the pickups for now. Won't be going back to Blackwood for a little while, but I think that'll be all, and I hope you have a great day. I shall talk to you all later. Have a good one.